Welcome into Extra Time. We've got Kasey Keller. We've got Craig Burley.
You're yawning there.
Oh, you were yawning.
I was.
Had you been reading about the playoffs?
He's studying up. He's going to be our expert on.
I'm already looking forward to the 48-team World Cup.
Jan Agafjotov was
What is Russia's placement now that they're in the playoffs?
Yeah, where are they seated?
It's whatever they want.
Easy.
Yeah, just to give you some
Girls.
context, I started to explain the playoff paths for the World Cup to Craig the other day, and I think he nearly fell asleep. So none of that today, all right?
2 teams, playoff, it's complicated.
Just win your games and you'll get there.
Yeah,
Put it that way.
just win your games.
Yeah.
All right, we start with
Scotland
you, Kasey.
might get. I was told by Derek Ray, our colleague, yesterday that Scotland might get North Macedonia, and I went, not bad. And I've just seen North Macedonia's results, and they've got considerably better.
They're actually not bad.
Actually not bad.
They're not bad.
All right.
Not bad, so it might not be that simple.
For Kasey, what countries do you see? Oh, here's another one that we can't get Craig started on.
Yeah.
What countries do you see as the dark horses next year in Qatar? Don't get Craig started on dark horses.
Obviously, we're a little ahead of ourselves because the only teams that have qualified aren't really dark horses. It's the biggest of the big boys for the most part that have gotten through. So, but the one thing that I will add, as we don't know yet, is anytime the World Cup ends up in a new venue that's not Europe, that's not South America, it always leaves little surprises. We saw that in Korea, Japan. We saw that down in South Africa. So now that it's the first time in the Middle East, I wonder if that will just be that little leveler and we'll have the odd surprise.
A little surprise. What are you looking at?
Oh. Bleeding adverts. I was looking at World Cup winners.
Oh, I thought you might have been looking up a definition.
Because you're going to ask about dark horse,
horses.
and then I was going to scroll down all the World Cup winners and tell you there's never been a dark horse.
Yeah, they're all massive. Yeah.
But it's usually someone who goes further than you expect.
Right,
And then,
right.
And
England.
Then gets knocked out.
England is the biggest surprise. 66, Craig. You don't have to look for that.
Gareth Southgate's got a new contract. Getting a new contract.
Well,
Italy?
Den-
Would Italy be the dark horse again?
well,
If Italy
a
go
dark
on,
horse is a team that exceeds expectations, right?
No, you can't
would
talk
throw
to
in Denmark.
marquee countries. Yeah.
Denmark is a dark horse, even now.
I can throw them in. I can throw them in because I agree with Kasey. You can't say that the ones who are qualified now for the World Cup, they won't be dark horses. But having said that, you see Denmark. I also liked Serbia. Serbia is a strong, great, balanced team. Maybe they can go further. And we don't know about the Qatar. How will it be? Winter World Cup and so on and so on. Maybe there could be some surprises.
Who knows?
The 95-degree Winter World Cup.
Right.
do you remember when Yugoslavia broke up as a country and they weren't allowed into Euro 92 and Denmark won it after having not qualified? That's a great... Greece.
In Euros.
But at least
Greece,
yeah, but at least they were qualified.
Yeah, but
Denmark
they scored 2 goals the whole tournament, more or less. And
it was in
somehow won
Portugal.
it.
Sorry?
And it was in the host nation.
You can't. Not with like a Ronaldo and stuff like that.
Hold on. Are you poo-pooing my Denmark thing? They weren't
No,
even
I like
in the competition.
Denmark was.
No, but Greece.
Denmark was one of the biggest of all.
Who was it? Otto. Who was it? Who was the coach?
Otto Rehhagel.
Rehhagel.
Otto Rehhagel.
But I think that the thing that I think makes it more difficult in a World Cup when you throw in the Brazils and the Argentinas and stuff like that. That's why I think Euros are kind of set up a little bit more for.
Do you know how many dark horses
We're
will be?
still talking about this.
Wait.
But I will stop this, Craig.
Craig.
For the Euros for the surprises, it wasn't that good example. Denmark was a great example, but Kasey got a point. At the Euros, there were only 8 teams. 8 teams.
Yes, no, that is correct.
All right.
The Euros was a very small thing then, and it grew. How many dark horses will be at the 2026 World Cup?
Don't get you started on that. Listen, we've got to move on because this will go on forever.
46.
Jan.
46.
Yes.
Oh, it's a number that we're asking you. With approximately how many goals will Kane finish this season in the Premier League? How many goals this season for Kane?
9.
9 all season?
Yeah.
Would anybody like to go higher than that?
I think he'll go higher, but put it this way, not as many as if he had transferred to Man City.
Oh, Craig.
Oh.
15.
All right, so both of them go higher than you,
15.
Jan.
Yeah.
Is it time to finally say that Modric is one of the greatest midfielders of all time? The way he keeps carrying his national team and Real Madrid at 36 years of age is truly not talked about enough. If he was Spanish, he would have probably been called the best ever. This is from John Honesty.
No.
No, Jan? Why not?
No, but because we are talking about best ever here. I mean,
No, he's
love
saying
your
if he was Spanish, he would have probably been called that. But is it time to say he's one of the greatest midfielders?
Best ever, a best midfielder ever is a quite highly priced when in talk of Johan Cruyff, Xavi, Iniesta. There are so many, Zidane and so on. But Modric up there, we saw him today, how he's the old-fashioned quarterback. Every second pass for Croatia, he gets the ball. And have a look at his trophy cabinet. He's up there. He's up there with the best. We will always discuss him. When we're talking about the best players in the world, we're not even talking about Zidane. And remember how good he was. So Modric is up there, but not the best.
I think one of the
fairness, he does say one of the
I think one of the problems is the terminology within the tweets that we receive. Yeah. Fortunately, we here are wordsmiths, and we can sort that out. I think the way, I mean, people will be shouting at people think I'll be serious.
Right.
I mean, they won't realise.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time,
tongue in
right?
cheek. Well, they don't know. Sometimes they do. I think a better way to put it would be, he has been one of the great midfielders of his generation.
Correct.
I don't think there's a doubt about that.
I'd agree with that. I think that's a great way, because I think it's, when you start talking all time, you have to take generations out of it, you have to take styles of play, and you just have to say who had an impact that is still remembered forever. And you're really talking about, handfuls of players. And look, Modric is as great as he's been, helping his country get to the World Cup final. I mean, everything that he's
winning
done.
all those Champions Leagues with Real Madrid.
Everything he did. But I agree with Jan. That's a tough
he left
task
Tottenham as a very good player, and he went to Real Madrid, surrounded, and it's easy to fold.
But that helps too, though.
Yeah, but as you know, when you go into a scenario with big players, it's sometimes easy to go the other way.
Correct.
And you can fold.
And he's a leader too, though, Craig. He's become a leader in the.
So he went from Spurs under Harry Redknapp as a very good player into a squad of better players, and he stepped it up and became a sublime midfielder. I mean, there's no doubt about that. That goal Yanni scored against Scotland in the Euros. I mean, it's just not many people can do that to Scotland.
The only thing you can do is to be best in your generation. It's not possible. I love my football history. I go back to the 50s. I didn't even live in the 50s. Ferenc Puskas, Di Stefano, all these kind of players. You can't compare them. But Modric is one of the best in his generation. I think we can agree on that.
Okay. Well, we're asking you another question now, Jan. How do you rate Christopher Nkunku among the best youngsters in the world right now? He was consistent throughout this season as well.
You have had a great season in Leipzig, scoring goals for fun, scoring in the Champions League. There is a lot of young players coming through now, and he's one of them. And he's also interesting because he's in a club that likes to sell their players, or don't like to sell their players, but they do sell their players, and that makes them more exciting to follow, because suddenly he can get a move this summer, and then he can come to a club near you.
Okay. Kasey, what's the perfect job that would coax you out of media into managing a team? And what team/situation would it be?
I think first and foremost, like anything, that if you're going to take over, you want to know that you're the person that can make the decisions, that there's not just a whole bunch of layers. I think the other thing too is you look at a lot of people that get into coaching, particularly straight after they retire. And the big part of that is it's this unbelievable passion that they want to coach. Myself, the main reason why I got into media to start with was when you're a player, and obviously Jan and Craig can attest to this, you're treated like you're about 10 years old. Be here at this time. Leave when I say you can leave. Eat when I say you can eat. Oh, you know how tomorrow's supposed to be your day off? Well, I'm not happy with the way you trained today. So you're all in here twice as early tomorrow and staying twice as late. You know, I wanted to get into a situation where I had a little bit of control of my life at that stage, and media, you know, gives you the opportunity to do that. So it would really have to take something special.
You mean you didn't have to be here today?
No, it's his choice. He's not even.
No, but it was on my schedule.
He's not even getting
I
paid.
actually came in when I was. Nobody's now telling me, you know, that for the rest. I have a schedule where in football the schedule can be thrown out the window in a heartbeat.
Oh, don't worry, this one can as well. Trust me. You know, the perfect job is one where you get paid lots of money and do very little.
Would you do it? Would you leave us all
doing
here
it.
at FC?
I'm doing it now. I'm doing lots.
You're
sorry.
doing so much.
I'm
so
doing
that's
so
why
much.
you were yawning at the top, right? Would you ever leave us here at FC if the
Well, it's not been my
situation
choice.
came up?
It might not be my choice.
No.
What would it take? What would it take? Like the
Oh,
question
it'd take me. Well, I'd have to be a golf pro.
Okay. Oh, so you're not even football manager?
Oh, nothing to do with football.
All
No.
right,
Not a freaking part of football. Nothing.
All right.
But I wouldn't be one of those coaches.
Yeah, go
but
on.
Kay, can you imagine
No.
Craig Burley being the manager, walking into a dressing room 8 o'clock in the morning after losing the game the day before? I mean,
What are you saying, Jan?
I'm not saying anything. I just let it out in the room.
Well, see, Nico has said the same thing, and you've got it all wrong. I mean, I would change.
Yeah. That's what I tell my wife, Craig. I would change.
It's funny because Nico laughed as well, but I would change. He said I couldn't because he reckons he knows me better than me.
What, you'd change your clothes?
No, I would change. I would
Change
not.
your uniform.
I would be much calmer.
Okay.
All right.
No, but
Okay.
I understand. No, I understand. You can't do that. 20 years ago, you could be that madman in the dressing room. Yeah, okay, all right. I'll stick to my day job.
All right.
I'll stick to my day job because I'm really busy.
What was it
Yes.
like? What was it like interviewing Mourinho?
That was interesting, challenging, because I had to stay calm, because I always know that when Mourinho comes to an interview, I've interviewed him before, he always get a role. He just decides which role he wants to go. I did the same in Bordeaux when he lost 6-1. Then he was the guy throwing people under the bus. This time he wanted to have a go at the referee and the reporters. And the interview before I interviewed him, he interviewed in Italian. I don't speak Italian, but I know where he was going, so I was quite good prepared for it.
That's interesting, isn't it? I've interviewed Mourinho a couple of times, and the best answer he ever gave me, I was setting him up, thinking of the managers that he's worked alongside, and to say who's been the biggest influence in your managerial career, and he took a split second and went, I think myself. That was his answer.
Really? That was a role, yeah.
So that's Mourinho for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
You got to love him. All right, to all, if you were a manager of a club, what kind of rules would you implement? Now, this follows on from obviously Xavi with his 10 rules that really did upset our Stevie Nicol. So, Craig, what type of rules would you have if you were a manager?
We've just had this discussion. Common sense.
Number one, common sense.
I think I would try and take parts of what I saw playing, and the guys have all seen different stuff. Some have all been the same, but I saw bits that from certain managers that I thought, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Because it's just, that is just getting, because managers would do something and say, right, this is what we're doing. And you go back in the dressing room and there's 20 guys going to the captain or whoever, what the hell is this all about?
Right.
So it's already getting the players back up. You know, so I think you'd look at it and you try and take your experiences and say, what would I lay down as the groundwork for having a framework for some stability, but not completely annoying the players?
Right.
Well, what do they say? The more rules you have, the more rules you have to abide by.
Right.
So you have to discipline, and you have to go from there. So, you know, pick the ones that are really the most important. I think if you start from the very starting point and be on time, because that's the respect for everybody else.
Exactly.
That if you're saying right now that I'm so important, I don't have to even show up on time. But look, have the respect, be on time for the time you're supposed to be at training, the time you're supposed to be out on the pitch, and go from there.
Yeah.
Rules are there to be broken, Jan.
They do. I had Felix Magath, and he had some rules for us at Eintracht Frankfurt. But I agree on Kasey. First of all, be on time. When I was a sport director for the national team, and I so annoyed when I heard about the regime before us that the people came playing for the national team and coming too late to meetings, to the bus. So the first rule I did was the bus was leaving. And the first one who didn't come was one of the members of the board. And I love it because that was a great way of showing that. But I think that the best rule you can get into a team is to get the players to take responsible for these kind of things themselves. Because we are a team, we know that if someone is not doing his stuff, indirectly that is something to do with me, and if people and boys, we know that from our time, now generation, there were, for example, players who had too many kilos, eating the wrong stuff, drinking too much alcohol. Sorry, we have to get them out.
Yeah, you can't drink 48 hours before a game. 47 and a half, you're all right. 48 hours.
Well, there has to be a cut-off point.
Yeah, I think it's changed days. And I remember I missed. I didn't miss. I was late for a game at Stamford Bridge.
How late?
Well, the boys were getting changed.
Oh, okay.
But there was nothing I could do about it, and this is why a lot of the preparation for games have changed. I'm driving from Hertfordshire to West London, coming in through North London, and I'd lived there for 9-10 years. I knew all the back roads, and London's so busy, as Kasey knows, that I knew every little nook and cranny back road, and I got stuck in sort of Shepherd's Bush, Hammersmith, about 4 miles from Stamford Bridge. It was gridlocked, and I tried every freaking back road that I'd learned over the years, and I couldn't do it. So there was nothing I could do. I mean, Glenn Hoddle wasn't particularly happy, but it was just one of those scenarios. So I think nowadays all that's taken away because the players go away either the night before or whatever. So these little things are sometimes they're out of your hands. That, you know, you get stuck in traffic in London, pitching up for a game, you're trying to get there an hour and a half, 2 hours before. All of a sudden, there's a gridlock. Correct. You're not getting there to 45 minutes before. That's going to be annoying.
But the one point that Jan makes is that there has to be a responsibility from the players as well to be able to understand that this is what's the standard. And sometimes it's a lot easier to then sit there and act like a schoolmaster at, for 6-year-olds. Sometimes it's easier to be like, look, this is a standard. Can you do it? Oh, you can't? Okay, goodbye. Let's find someone who can.
This is why you guys are all doing the media jobs instead, right? Don't want to be giving out those roles. Don't want to be that person.
Like to be authentic.
All right. Kasey, I'll start with you. I'll ask everybody. If you guys could have one superpower, what would you like to have and why?
I mean, obviously flying's easy, but for those of us who do have to fly around, if you could teleport and I could go, okay, back in Seattle tonight, and then come back in the morning, and that'd be pretty darn cool.
That'd be a cool one.
Yeah.
Craig?
I would like to just become invisible whenever I felt like it.
Why?
You are Craig. You are Craig.
Particularly when some people are talking, just to take myself out of the equation. Particularly when I'm getting angry and I'm starting to froth at the mouth. I just press a button and I just go for a period. It'd be great, that, wouldn't it? I'm checking out. I'm having an hour.
It would look a bit strange if it happened here.
It's a bit like my schedule, really.
But then we'd know that one of us had been annoying you if you just disappeared.
Well, rather than me sitting here going...
Like we all don't know when that happens.
Yeah. I never ever show when I'm getting annoyed. That's the good thing. You can never tell, Jan. Never tell. At least I'm not.
At least he's honest.
We wanted Craig to have that invincible superpower.
Don't bring me into it, Jan.
I will take it down to the floor because I will take it down to the daily thing that I got a lot of superpowers in different rooms in the house, but I don't have it in the kitchen. So I would like to make food because every man 54 like myself, in every party I am, The man is cooking. He's doing everything. They know everything about food. I don't not anything. I have to Google egg and bacon. So I'm so bad. So there is the daily superpower I would like to have.
So you're telling me you're only a notch worse off than Stevie Nicol at being able to look after yourself?
Yeah, but as I said, Craig, in other rooms of the house, I got superpower, and Stevie Nicol doesn't have that.
No, you're right. You're right. He's just useless at all different aspects of being at home.
Well, we'll leave it at that. That was a nice question to end it with.
Yes. You know that, don't you? It's not news.
Yeah, it is not news.
I can't see Craig. I can't see Craig. Craig, I can't see him. He's got the superpower. I can't see him.
Yeah, I know. By the way, apparently that's something the viewers would like to have as well. Just have the ability to just switch me off.
Or a mute button.
And my boss, which is rather worrying.
All right, that's all we've got time for. Thank you so much for being
I'll switch myself off when there's a 48-team World Cup.
Yeah,
Don't you worry about
he's not going to talk about that ever again, only to complain about it. Join us every single day, 7 days a week. We're always here.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.